Good evening, beloved family and friends, brothers and sisters. This moment right now is likely one of the most pivotal moments of my life. For me to be sitting here before you in genuine authenticity, and for me to know beyond a shadow of a doubt that I am supported and embraced by all the benevolent beings that have brought me to you right here, right now. This is what I came here for. This is what we have all been waiting. This year of 2020, clear, pure vision. Many of you know that I have been practicing energy medicine for around 10 years. I don't know. It doesn't matter. In this reality, there is no time. Brian Ridgway, you are here with me tonight. I know it. All the way across the universe. I don't friggin' know. Geography doesn't matter. Time and space does not matter. You are here with me. And my family and the tribe that I have created to be here with me tonight to support me. This pandemic, as I see it, with crystal clear 2020 vision, has brought me to you tonight. I feel like I have received a PhD within the last 5 to 6 months in the deep state, the manipulation, the lies, the corruption. Because up until now, up until then, I could have cared less about politics. I've not watched the news for many, many years. I had heard about the cabal, the deep state, all my life. I had heard about Big Brother. All my life. Oh, it was funny. Big Brother's watching you, be careful. It was a joke. Well, folks, it's not a joke. So, this week, I made an appointment with a new doctor because my doctor of many years retired. Perfect timing. He retired in January or February, I don't know. I had only seen him once a year just to maintain that relationship. We were on a first name basis. We were friends. He was one of those doctors that still practiced old-timey medicine, what I grew up on. I called him by first name. When I would go and visit him for my yearly, just to maintain that relationship, we spent time chatting. And he's been telling me for years, Mary, I'm ready to retire. I'm like, David, you cannot retire right now. Don't you dare do it. Mary, I can no longer practice medicine the way I know how. And that would be all he would say, and I would laugh, and we would joke. The last time I saw him was toward the end of the year, 2019, and we talked about, and I said, or asked, David, when are you going to retire? Mary, I don't know. It depends on if they are ready to give me a good buyout package. If not, my plan is a couple more years. Okay, David, don't you dare leave me. Don't you leave me hanging. And he laughed, and I expected I would see him when it was time to see him again. Well, come January, February, David retired. What did he know ahead of time? So I went to see this young doctor, maybe in February, because I felt like I still needed to have that medical professional. I've had insomnia for as long as I can remember. Depression prior to that, but once I began practicing energy medicine, I was able to get off of the antidepressant that I had been on for 20 years. Insomnia was the only thing that I still required help for. Okay, so fast forward to this week. The young physician that I had seen in February, I referred to him as Doogie Howser. Many of you would recognize Doogie Howser from a TV show. And I intuitively knew that maybe yes, no, I don't know, not real sure. So last week I'm like, okay, I'm going to call David's old practice and just see who's there, who I might be able to see for my yearly that I had put off. And God forbid, folks, when I was sick a couple of months ago, 6 weeks ago, I probably, quite possibly, if there is a real virus, I possibly would have tested positive. Yeah, you heard that right. I would have laid at home and died before I would have gone to the emergency room. My husband knew it. My local herb shop go-to guy knew it. And he took care of me with natural remedies. Okay, so I made an appointment to go to my old family physician's practice on Tuesday. So blessed to find a nurse practitioner that had a mask on. I couldn't read her facial cues, but I looked people in the eyes, and the unspoken words were there. When I asked questions, and I told her I respected that she likely could not answer those questions. So she wrote me a prescription for a topical ointment that I had filled today. So on my way to my son's place of business, I pulled in a well-known, globally, pharmacy, and I pulled up. And I asked the little pharmacy tech for my prescription. She asked for my birthday, blah, 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 blah. She handed me said prescription, and for a topical ointment, it was $75. Yeah, you heard that right. That was my copay for a topical ointment. And I said, oh, wow. Please tell me, what is the expiration date on this $75 investment I'm fixing to make? and I believe she said 2020. And I breathed deeply, as my mentor has taught me to do. And I wondered, and I'm like, okay, I've tried natural stuff. I've tried other over-the-counter ointments that have not taken care of this. Is $75 worth it? Okay, yeah. And I asked her, please tell me what the ingredients are. She didn't know. So she walked away and she went to the pharmacist, who was standing 12 to 15 feet away. And she asked the pharmacist what the ingredients were. Steroid. Okay, steroid. I know about taking oral steroids. I don't like that. So I asked the pharmacy tech to please inquire a little bit deeper as to what effect the topical steroid might have on my body. How would it absorb? Well, the pharmacist, 12, 16 feet away, proceeded to yell across the distance with her mask on. I could not hear her with her mask on, not to mention the distance. And I yelled, I can't hear you. So she stopped what she was doing, and she came to the window, and I asked her, please tell me what the absorption rate would possibly be with said steroid. And she assured me it would be minimal. Okay, cool. Thank you very much. I breathed deeply and asked myself, okay. And because I've been in tune to my body and I've learned to listen to my body said, yeah, Mary, it's okay. So I told the pharmacist, okay, I will purchase said topical steroid. Please go ahead and process it. And as she was processing my order, I'm sitting there, breathing calmly, quite disturbed at where I am and the fact that I'm relying totally and solely on my intuition that has been mocked. Yes, mocked. Don't listen to your intuition, Mary, they say. Listen to your mind. Folks, our mind, along with the mainstream media and the manipulation from the news, that's part of the plan. I know this. The mind is a beautiful thing to waste. Opening my heart, however, and tapping into what God gifted me with, my intuition. Okay, that. So I asked the pharmacist as she was preoccupied, if I needed or requested a particular medication for said virus, that particular medication has 3 letters. Would you have it available? She looked me in the eyes and said, no, it's not available. Okay. I said, pre-January, February, was it available? Before they told you you could not prescribe it for said virus. She wasn't prepared for that question. And she said, yes, for patients who were already on it, but certainly not for COPD. the ID. Okay. That's interesting. So I then continued to breathe, and I asked her, okay, so these patients who have been on it for other conditions, do you order the product for these patients? No, we don't have to order it. I said, wait a minute. You just told me that it's not available. Intuition. I said, you just told me it's not available. Well, it's not available for COVID. Okay. Because they, I said, or asked, have told you that you can't dispense it for that. Correct? She looked at me, looked away, finished processing my order, and I don't remember what other question I asked, but it fell out of my face, folks. It fell out of my face. And I asked that question. She looked at me, and she very, very quickly handed me my change and my prescription and said, have a nice day. I thanked her and let her know that I respect that there's somebody else pulling the strings. Yep, somebody else. She wasn't prepared for me to ask the questions. However, she had her script ready for somebody that was not listening to their intuition. Folks, we are being lied to. We are being manipulated. We are being abused. Now, happy ending to my day. And honestly, guys, that was brain frying, head spinning, very, very upsetting for me. So as I pulled away, I stopped, I paused, and I did a voice recording to remind myself of what actually transpired. Because my mind was already saying that didn't just happen. And I knew I better let it fall out of my face and have a recording so I could make this video for you tonight. Now, this evening, I told my husband I had a few things to do, and I was going to go to one of my favorite local dives that I've been frequenting for 20 plus years, where I sit on the deck, surrounded by nature, and I know the waitresses and the waiters by name. We have a relationship. How refreshing it was to end my day sitting on the deck. Over to the left of me was what appeared to be a dad with his 12 or 13-year-old daughter. To the right of me was a table with maybe 22, 23-year-old young girls on their phones, laughing, engaging. And then there was another party further away, 5 or 6 people, I don't know. The refreshing part for me was all of a sudden I looked around and I felt at peace and at ease because there were no masks. I could see facial expressions. I could see joy. I could see relaxation. Yeah. Before I left, as I was paying my waitress, who I know by name, because we have a relationship, I asked her if she was on Facebook much, and she said, yeah, Mary. And we bantered back and forth. And of course, in typical Mary, who is going to be Mary style, I let a few cuss words out. I won't do that tonight. And she laughed and she said, I love you so much. So we connected on Facebook and we chatted about, tell me what you think about what you are mandated, so they tell you to be doing when you're serving your customers. What do you think about it? Well, Mary, our boss says we have to do it. Yeah. You are aware that there's no law in Georgia, right? Yeah, Mary, I know. And our current president, she told me, there are a lot of things about him I don't like, I haven't liked. However, he seems to be the only person who is looking out for us. Maybe, maybe not, I don't know. That appears to be what's going on. I don't know. Anyway, before I left, we said we loved each other. We would be in touch on Facebook. She will be reaching out to me for some issues she has going on with her back, which, by the way, can often indicate a lack of support, which she admitted she didn't feel like she was receiving much support from her work environment. I get that. Reach out to me. I'm here. I love you. I care. So, I was blessed to be able to come home, to be in nature, to have a dear friend, to set up this video and the camera and fix my hair and put a little makeup on for me, to be able to show up for you tonight, because I do care. I will no longer be filtered. I will no longer be silenced. I love you all, regardless of your political beliefs, regardless of how you may perceive me, and regardless of any hate that you are energetically throwing at me. Bless you. Know that I love you. And I request that you share this.